High noon on the Great Plains of Africa. Kenya's Masai Mara Game Reserve is renowned for its big cats. Not only lions and cheetahs, but one that's less easily seen, a far more secretive creature. A cat that walks by itself. The leopard is intensely shy. It's not rare, but it's seldom sighted. Its solitary and menacing form masked by the colors of Africa. In long grass, a leopard can move quieter than the wind, a dappled shadow slipping through the stems. It can lie out under a tree and look like sunshine sifting through the leaves. This is the tale of one such secret leopard. The vast thorn tree savannas of Kenya were once famous for their big game hunting. Although leopards were notoriously difficult to find, they fell prey to trophy hunters. They were killed by trackers protecting livestock. Those leopards that remained became so wary and elusive that little was known about them until recently. Only occasionally will a leopard allow us a glimpse of how it lives. We followed this female and watched for over 4 months while she raised a family. It's November, and this is yesterday's kill, a gazelle which she put in a tree for safekeeping. The leopard is returning to her lair. The cover of the long grass and the scatter of trees and thickets to hide in make the Masai Mara ideal country for leopards, enabling them to hold their own against the competing lions and hyenas. It was on this ridge that the cubs were born 4.5 months ago in July. The cubs are still being suckled, but more and more they're being weaned onto the meat she brings back to the lair. They compete vigorously for a share of the gazelle. She has a trio of cubs, the largest a male. Because there are so many predators around, it's unlikely that she'll manage to raise all 3 beyond this playful stage. Sharing this patch of forest is a tiny antelope no bigger than a hare. Dick live right under the leopard's nose and avoid being eaten only by using their own highly active noses and by being even more secretive. The leopard's range is an area of some 15 square kilometers over which she roams from the central lair. She's basically a loner, a solitary animal, but she does communicate with other leopards by a rasping call and by scent sprayed onto prominent trees and bushes. These pungent messages linger for days, even weeks, a warning to other leopards that the range is occupied. A female leopard doesn't actually defend the area in which she lives. Her home range overlaps with those of neighboring females, but each leopard keeps strictly to itself. Only when a female is receptive, a brief 6 days or so every month or two, does she forsake her solitary ways to breed. Not until after she has raised her cubs will the mother become receptive again. During the 4-month watch, no other female was seen in the area, but there is another leopard within the range. Unmistakably male, with his more powerful build and broader muzzle, he's half as big again as the female and probably weighs 60 kilos. He's almost certainly the only male here and the most likely father of her cubs. In all the Mara, there may be only 30 male leopards, even more elusive than the females. With cold yellow eyes, he watches his world, but of him there is little more than the occasional glimpse. Below the female's lair on the ridge, herds of plains animals gather to feed on the open grasslands. Among them the impala, which play a vital role in the leopard's life. In November, female impala leave the herd to give birth on the ridge. Here the fawns are well hidden in the long grass and bushes. Barely 30 minutes old, the fawn can already walk. To survive, it must quickly learn to run and to hide. The leopard knows that a lone impala female usually has a fawn nearby. Such opportunities are not to be missed. Her patience is infinite. She may spend hours edging closer and closer. She can track her prey just by its scent, staying downwind while sneaking through the long grass cover. That also means the impala is less likely to catch her scent. She moves nervously away from her fawn. She doesn't see the leopard. The leopard is unaware that the fawn lies hidden so close and searches a new area. Seeing the impala bound away, the leopard watches intently for any sign of the fawn. It has obviously been left behind, but where? If the fawn were to move now, the end would be sudden. For all her hunting prowess, the leopard misses more often than she succeeds. The same is true for most big cats. female impala will feel it is safe to return to her calf only when the leopard is long gone. It's now mid-December, and the cubs are 5 months old. Time for them to venture out. The leopard has killed an impala in the night and has left it under an acacia tree not far from the lair. The male cub has reached the kill first and claimed possession. As with all male leopards, sharing is not part of his nature. Only when he is satisfied will the other cubs be allowed to feed. The mother is on the alert. Out in the open, the young are more vulnerable. It's a trial for the hungry female cubs to watch Big Brother eating his fill. The female's concern is well-founded. The smell of the carcass attracts other diners, dangerous ones, hyenas. Hyenas have the most powerful bone-crushing jaws in Africa and show no fear of leopards. But the leopard has an escape. Taking the meat, she goes where no hyena can follow, but her cubs can. Even in this emergency, the young male is still annoyed at having his meal taken from him. Up here, the leopards are safe. So's the kill, and the hyenas know it. But hardly have they turned to go before a squabble between the cubs returns them to earth. The mother does not try to intervene. The hyenas are moving away. She stands guard, carefully watching their retreat. Only after the danger has passed does she eat what little the youngsters have left. It is now high time to return to the safety of the lair. She calls softly to her cubs. She's bringing them to heel before setting off. By late morning, the heat is intense and the family pauses to drink. Pools like this are not available throughout the year, and leopards are quite able to survive on the fluids contained in the bodies of their prey. It's now the end of December. cold dawn, the male Topi antelope begin the elaborate ritual of courtship. Among the animals of the Mara, a new season is beginning. The mother leopard is now seeking larger prey for her fast-growing cubs. Termite mounds are good lookout posts from which to view the antelope in the long grass. As the impala bucks test their strength, she watches them for signs of weakness. And suddenly she's off. Male impala often wander through her home range, but they're gifted with sharp senses. Aware of the menace of her drifting presence, they're generally hard to hunt. Her only chance is to steal through the grass to a point of ambush, to take advantage of surprise, the quick, short rush. But midway through this hunt, she seems to recognize that the first impala is too wary, and makes towards some others, belly to the ground, tail held low, her head flattened like a snake's. She begins to stalk a mixed herd of impala and Topi feeding peacefully together. Adult Topi are more than 3 times her weight and very powerful animals, but she may have spotted a youngster hidden in the grass. A charge scatters the antelope, but in the confusion she catches an adult Topi by its muzzle. The Topi tries to shake her off, to trample her. She struggles for a grip to suffocate. The Topi isn't fit. It has an injured hind leg. The battle ends. There'll be another time, another place. Bloodied and exhausted, the leopard does not attempt to follow. The Topi is hobbling, its hind leg badly swollen from the injury sustained before the struggle. Perhaps that's why, despite its large size, the leopard went for it. There was more fight in the Topi than she'd bargained for. On her way back to her lair and the cubs, she, too, is limping. She doesn't seem seriously hurt, but her misjudged attack on the topee could cost her dearly if she doesn't make a full recovery. A disabled leopard is a starving leopard, and only she can provide for the family. There are no other adults to help, as there would be in a pride of lions. She's not able to hunt until her wounds have healed. Till then, she and the cubs will go hungry. For 3 days, the leopards were not seen on their woodland ridge in the Masai Mara. But on the 4th morning, it's business as usual, and the leopard has made a more prudent choice. The kill is a female impala. She has recovered quickly from her earlier injury. An injured cat doesn't survive long in the testing world of the African bush. The January sun rises over a drying landscape. The short rains have passed. The rivers are dwindling. In a few shrinking pools, catfish find a last refuge. The plains quiver as noon temperatures soar. There's precious little shade out on the plains. Lions and hyenas have to rest uncomfortably close to one another as the heat continues to build. When it's so hot, most big carnivores rest, including the leopards. But there is one species of spotted cat that does go out to hunt. A female cheetah and her family are often seen in the leopard's home range looking for prey. Her favorite is the little Tommy, or Thompson's gazelle. At first sight, cheetah and leopard may look alike, but there are many differences. The long-limbed cheetah is a racer, not a stalker. It's designed for running down the fleet-footed gazelles on the open plain. The head is smaller than the leopard's, with distinctive marks like tear stains, and the cheetah's spots are solid black, unlike the rosettes of a leopard. Both cats are stealthy, swift killers, but the cheetah is much faster over the ground. This young Tommy was an easy catch. But there's more to this hunt than a quick meal for her cubs. She's giving them an opportunity to develop their own hunting ability, to perfect the instinctive technique of tripping their prey. In a few months' time, the cubs will be able to fend for themselves. On the kill, the cheetahs behave very differently from leopards. Adult and cubs eat side by side, bolting their food as fast as they can. There's no squabbling. There isn't time. Out in the open, cheetahs are easily seen and may lose their kill to lions or hyenas, or even vultures. In the late afternoon, the breeze relieves the oppressive heat, but the biting tsetse flies are irritating the leopard on the ridge. Unlike the cheetah, she hunts only where there is plenty of cover, or when she's concealed in the shadow of the night. Away from the lair, she's a restless wanderer. Her tail indicates her mood. When on walkabout, she keeps it raised high, a sign that she's not intent on hunting. Being out and about by day sometimes presents hunting opportunities not available at night, and it avoids competition with the nocturnal lions and hyenas here. The giraffes hardly bat an eyelid as she passes. These extraordinary-looking animals were thought by the ancient Greeks to be a cross between a camel and a leopard, a camelopard. Even today, scientists know them as Giraffa camelopardalis. The one-ton adult giraffe is in no danger, whatever mood the hunter's tail might suggest. She does have hunting on her mind, and her eyes are on these Thompson's gazelles. She crawls closer but catches sight of a male impala. He's blocking her approach. She changes course. Now a termite mound hides her from the impala. The ambush is laid. A few paces to the right is the unsuspecting Tommy. A warthog moves in and distracts her attention. The startled warthog gives the whole game away. Her tail signals her intense frustration. She'll try again, but this time under cover of darkness. When draped along a branch, leopards are more conspicuous. But as a rule, this one spends little time in trees. She hides most of her kills in dense bush where her cubs are less conspicuous. They're 7 months old now and no longer confined to their original lair. Where the female makes a kill, she escorts the cubs to it. She's well rested and hungry and goes to join her cubs. Faced with sharing the food, the male cub protests as loudly as ever. This may attract attention of a dangerous nature. Lions regard leopards as unnecessary competition and will kill them if they can. A lioness is about 3 times the size of a female leopard. It's not unknown for lions to climb trees, but this tree has too many thorns. Her sister and mother have chosen this much taller tree, again unscalable by the less agile lions. Yet even now the danger is not over. In the Mara, lions quite often lay siege to treed leopards and kill them when they come down. If the cub loses its nerve now and tries to make a run for it, the end would be swift indeed. The lions lose interest and move off. But one of the cubs is missing, the young male. He isn't in any of the trees. He may have hidden somewhere else or even returned to the original lair, or fallen victim to the surprise attack. This night, the leopard family will be one fewer. By March, the showers are dampening these high Mara plains. Even though the equator is close, at 2,000 meters above sea level, the mornings are damp and chill. The rain encourages new grass, which gives the leopards more cover. The two remaining cubs are now 8 months old and slip frequently from one hiding place to another. They stay in the same spot for a day or so, then move on. At this stage, they're still dependent on the kills their mother makes. With the first rains come herds of zebra in search of the fresh grass. Some have traveled from the Serengeti further south. In the heat of the day, they troop in from the plains to drink at a spring at the foot of the Leopard's Ridge. The waterhole is small. Thirsty zebras patiently wait their turn. A zebra sometimes loses the end of its tail in escaping from hyenas, or when one aggressive stallion bites another. Despite their innocuous striped appearance, zebras are pugnacious animals with a powerful kick. A stallion can easily break a lion's jaw or smash a leopard's ribs. The bickering subsides, and the zebras and their foals wander further into the leopard's range. She's quietly dozing, but her ears are alert to the zebra's approach. Still she doesn't stir. Perhaps experience of a zebra's kick has curbed her appetite. Unaware, the zebras wander up to the tree to rub themselves free of irritating parasites. The adult zebras arouse her interest, but she wouldn't risk an attack on them. They weigh around 300 kilos. It's this foal she has her eye on. It was a swift kill of devastating accuracy. The leopard has broken the foal's neck. For her, it was an unusual method of attack, but she's a great opportunist and has perfected the art of concealment and surprise. But she now has a problem. The foal weighs at least as much as her. The cubs are nearly 2 kilometers away, and though she might manage to carry it back to them, she would risk losing it to other predators on the way. On the other hand, there's no place to hide it on the ground while she fetches the cubs, and already the scavengers have got wind of her kill. There's only one way to go. She carries the whole weight of the foal, 40 kilos, in her jaws. The climb is a remarkable display of strength. Her usual prey, antelope, are easily anchored in the tree by their horns. The zebra has none. Gravity puts the problem back on the ground. By now the leopard is exhausted, but the hyenas are moving in. There is no time to rest. She must try again or lose her prize. With the carcass safely stored, she can at last relax. April ushers in the long rains to this big cat country. The mother and the two 9-month-old cubs are still together, and between meals the cubs are as mischievous as ever. The adult hunting technique is already clear in their patterns of play. The instinctive pounce and lunge at the throat is practiced on a patient parent. For another 6 months or more, the mother leopard will care for her cubs. Already they can kill lizards and birds on their own, but it'll be some time before they can tackle anything larger. As the two cubs play in the forest nearby, the mother begins to behave strangely, calling as if to a cub. And suddenly the third cub appears, the young male that vanished 6 weeks ago. How has he survived? His sisters are still not able to fend for themselves. The only explanation would seem to be that he is kept in the background, away from the prying eye of the camera, and has been close by all the time. Truly a secret leopard in the making. This leopard will raise several families during her 12 years or so of life. For 4 months now, she has revealed something of the discreet ways of her kind. Because of her, we will understand a little more of the secret leopards of the Masai Mara.
And we're back to nature next Sunday at 8 with a look at the most numerous bird in the world, the red-billed quelea.